After hundreds of interviews, what patterns have you noticed about being human that repeat themselves? Because that's one thing I've learned about. I'm early on my journey, but just over my life, I have been fascinated by hearing people's stories. And I've noticed certain patterns, but what patterns have you noticed in what connects us as being humans? Maybe things that just about everybody on your show can have in common.
Uh, well, I'm approaching. You're right. I've done 787 interviews slash videos are up on YouTube. So that's and I've interviewed people on 6 continents. And because of who I am and what I am, I've interviewed people. We're all one species, so I've interviewed people in Lebanon, in Cameroon, Nigeria, Egypt, Italy, India, basically almost everywhere. Almost everywhere, and that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because it's diversity, and as I talk to all these different people, what do I take away? We're all, if you factor out all the noise, we're all basically the same. We probably came from North Africa, the whole gang of us. I'm playing around here. The whole gang of us came from North Africa, and we spread out over different places. We're all the same, and so and we all talk about journeys and the pain of journey and the determination. Everybody I've interviewed is determined, and I've interviewed a ton of authors because I'm an author myself, and I'm an indie author. A ton of authors. I also gravitate to creatives, and I do a lot of stuff at the Garden State Film Festival, interviewing actors, actresses, directors. But when the sun is setting over the western sky, I'm being very literary now. When the
I love it.
sun, yes, it's setting over the western sky, and I'm looking, I'm saying, we're all the same. We're all and everybody's been on a journey, and everybody's been determined, and and whatever pursuit they all want to succeed. Authors, thing I learned about, and so many have been authors. Authors are people too.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and all of us authors, have a lot of reckoning in trying to make people understand who the hell we are. Uh,
This podcast started for me being self-serving, and there's a lot of self-serving aspects to interviewing people and hearing their stories all the time. I learned something from every one of my guests. I've learned so much from you. Has there been a moment when an interview became something maybe deeper than you expected that comes off the top of your head?
uh, you know, uh, 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 um, I interviewed a devout Muslim, uh, um, and we originally got connected because we were both pharmacists. I found out he's a pharmacist. He found out I was a pharmacist. So that's a bond. And then the interview, and we've gone on to become great friends. And I've interviewed him 3 times. His name is Mustafa, and he's written books, and he's trying to tell people how to change careers. But after that first interview and that feeling of warmth, there's no politics. They're just people. And of course, because of the world we live in fact that he's different, I'm different, and he's Muslim and I'm not, and but the beauty of that interview for me is we became friends, and I've done everything I could to promote him and his books. But the beauty and the thing that meant the most to me is we're just we're just two people who became friends, and there's no politics, there's no nothing involved, but that we can help each other and share with each other, and that was the shining light for me. We met 3 times, not a word about current events. It's amazing, Jeff. Not a word. There's no reason to delve into that. Let somebody else do it. There are more important things.